Spring is almost here, which means it's time to dust off those old bikes and get them ready for some serious riding. But before you hit the trails, there are a few key things you should do to ensure your bike is in tip-top shape. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 10 essential steps to get your bike spring ready. First up, give your bike a good cleaning. I use Dawn Power Wash and some rags to wipe down the frame, making sure I get into all the nooks and crannies. A clean bike is a happy bike. Next, let's tackle the drivetrain. First, I'll show you the easy way, followed by a more advanced method. You can use your favorite degreaser and a soft brush to loosen and clean your chain like this. Once everything is agitated, you can take a cloth and wipe everything clean. It wouldn't hurt to hose off and dry the chain with a clean cloth. Be careful not to get the cloth or your fingers caught in the gears. The more advanced method involves removing the chain from the bike. Once it's been removed, I thoroughly soak the chain in degreaser and let it sit a bit while I prepare the ultrasonic cleaner. I fill the ultrasonic cleaner with warm water and regular dish detergent. I run the chain and the quick links through the ultrasonic cleaner for around 30 minutes. Once that's completed, I wipe the chain clean and it's ready for the next step. The next step is to clean your cassette or freewheel. We can use the same steps we did as on the chain. Dawn Power Wash or your favorite degreaser can be applied directly to the cassette, and the soft bristle brush can be used to agitate and remove the dirt and grime. Use a cloth to wipe everything down, and you can even try to get between the cogs like this. The more advanced method is similar to what I did with the chain, and I toss a cassette into my ultrasonic cleaner. I do not recommend doing this with a freewheel. Now that the chain is clean, the next step is to see if the chain is worn out. This tool will help determine that fact. This side of the tool has a spot that indicates how much your chain is worn, 0.5 and 0.75%. To measure your wear, slide the hook onto one of the pins and try to drop the other end into a link. If the tool drops into the link, your chain is worn. Note the number that slid in. It's recommended to replace a cassette with 10 or fewer gears if your chain is worn 0.75 or greater, and replace your 11-speed or higher chain if the wear indicator is at 0.5 or greater. My chain is in good shape, so it's good to go. Next, we'll examine our cassette or freewheel. If your chain was worn, you may have worn the teeth on your cassette. Look closely at the teeth on your cogs. If you see any teeth that look like a shark fin, this indicates a worn cassette and it should be replaced. This is an example of a worn cassette. Note the shark fin cogs. It's now time to lubricate our freshly cleaned chain. I use Tri-Flow. You can find approved lubricants at your local bike shop. Never use anything like motor oil or WD-40. These will cause a sticky film on your chain that will attract gritty dirt that will prematurely wear your chain. I place a drop of lube on each pin of the chain, using my quick link as a starting and stopping point. I next spin the chain several times to work the lube in. Then I wipe the excess lube off. Any extra may attract dirt and grime. Next, we check our wheels for true. Here, I'm using a truing stand. I push the pins closely to the rim and note any wobble in the rim. This can be easily duplicated on your bike using something like a zip tie held in place. If you note significant wobble, you should bring your wheels to the local bike shop and have them trued. Now I move on to checking on how the bike shifts. Your chain should smoothly move from one cog to the next with each click of the shifter. If your bike is not shifting well, I provided a link on indexing your gears in the description. It's important to check the functionality of your brakes. Here, I notice my rear brake lever seems to pull further than my front brake. A quick adjustment fixes my issue. If you're having issues with your brakes, I would suggest a trip to the local bike shop or look up how-to videos on YouTube. Maintain these at your own risk. Let's move on and inspect our tires. Mine are new, so there shouldn't be any issues. If your tires look anywhere close to this, it's time to replace them. The last thing that I would do, which is completely optional, is swap out your touch points if worn. Your touch points are handlebar grips, bar tape, saddle, and pedals. When replaced, especially your bar tape or handlebar grips, can give your bike that new bike feeling. I really hope these tips helped you get your bike spring ready. If you enjoyed this video, show that thumbs up button some love and subscribe for more bicycle restoration content.